Yo, what is up folks, MTG here, and Treasure Cruise is finally on Arena. Izzet Phoenix, rising from the ashes, to take its place as potentially the #1 deck in the Explorer and Pioneer formats. It's already the most played deck in Pioneer at the moment, and with the addition of the almighty Treasure Cruise to Arena, it's ready to rise up here as well. If you're not familiar, this is the main draw engine for the Phoenix deck. At the moment, or previously, when you would play Phoenix on Arena, you kind of like spend some resources getting Phoenix into your graveyard, spend some more resources bringing it back. Maybe you'd be able to bring it back again. If your opponent was able to deal with that, you had no real way to refuel and get back into the game. And Treasure Cruise does all that for you. Blue, 7, draw 3 cards. That has the Delve keyword, so exiling cards from your graveyard will help you pay the mana. Bringing it down to blue, draw 3 cards, and it turns out Ancestral Recall is still pretty good. Cruise is on Arena, Phoenix back on top. Let's have a look at the list. So we've got our 4 copies of Izzet Phoenix, we've got our 4 Treasure Cruise. That bit's kind of locked and set in stone. We have Picklock Prankster, a more recent addition to the Phoenix deck, and one of the reasons it's been doing so well in Pioneer. Mostly because of this free the Fae instant, 1 and a blue, mill 4 cards, then put an instant sorcery or fairy card from among the mill cards into your hand. Helps you dump Phoenix into your graveyard, helps you fuel Treasure Cruise, helps you find Treasure Cruise, and hey, if you need to, you can find itself as well. But also, it's a perfect thing to do on turn 2, to let you on turn 3 say, hey, I've got 3 instant sorceries, I'm going to bring a Phoenix back from your graveyard. There we go. So Picklock Prankster is responsible for putting Phoenix like back on the map in Pioneer, and with the addition of Treasure Cruise, it's going to be a absolute I don't know if it's the best card in the format, but with green kind of taking a bit of a hit, and obviously no Discover shenanigans, it's in a really, really strong place. With Phoenix though, we know the threat. And so there's been 2 kind of like options that have been drifted between like backwards and forwards. One of them is Ledger Shredder, and this is what everyone's kind of defaulting to now. If you wanted to take a look at Phoenix lists online, almost all of them, or basically all of them, are playing Ledger Shredder now, and you're not seeing Thing in the Ice anywhere. I'm not entirely like in agreement with that necessarily. Shredder does a lot of things for you. Our deck is angled to have 16, 24, like 1 mana spells here, and just be super, super cheap, low to the ground, and be able to trigger so much times. It's a discard outlet for Phoenix, so you don't have to worry too much about that when you're constructing the rest of your deck. And hey, it builds up threat over time. The thing about it is, to be powering it up, you need to be discarding spells, which isn't always what you want. Like, yeah, it's great to discard Phoenix, but sometimes you're going to find yourself, hey, I need to discard a land here. Whereas with Thing in the Ice, you play it on turn 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 spells, it flips, bounces all your opponent's stuff, and maybe some of yours, but that's fine, and then is a massive threat. So there's a consistency behind that I really, really like. Depending on how the format looks, like, hey, maybe you end up being like, Thing in the Ice ends up being the one in rotation, but Ledger Shredder is where everyone's at the moment. So here we are. 4 Cruise, 4 Phoenix, 4 Prankster, 4 Ledger Shredder. I mentioned already, we have 24 1-mana spells in the deck. We've got 16 pseudo cantrips, we've got 4 Consider, Surveil 1, draw a card, 4 copies of Opt, Scry 1, draw a card, 4 copies of Sleight of Hand, again, another new card from Wilds of Eldraine. Did bring a couple of different pieces to the Phoenix deck. Look at the top 2, 1 in your hand, 1 on the bottom, and 4 copies of Otherworldly Gaze, which has become a staple of 4 of. A few, like, about 6 months ago, a Demi-Lich version of the Phoenix deck did really, really well at European regionals, and ever since then, Otherworldly Gaze has kind of become just a 4 of. Surveil 3 and Flashback. Surveil helping you find Phoenix, put it in your graveyard, control your draw step, and then also with Flashback being able to be another spell later on to bring Phoenix back again. Just really, really important, while also like, hey, getting cards in your graveyard for Treasure Cruise, all the rest. Really, really strong. And with these 16, a ton of consistency, even if it does feel a little bit sometimes like you're like kind of floating air. We then have our removal. So 4 copies of Firing Impulse. This is one of the few decks in the format that can do 3 damage to Greasefang on your turn 2 effectively when your opponent's on the play. Very, very efficient removal spell. And then 4 copies of Lightning Axe, which of course also gives you a discard outlet to put Phoenix in graveyard. But 5 damage here will kill pretty much everything, which is awesome, awesome, awesome. And then we're not playing any Spell Pierce here. Having them in the main deck is a bit of a liability. Sometimes it's like, I've just got nothing to cast this on, matchup dependent. Izzet Charm is kind of like the perfect card to kind of round our deck out, because it does everything. Counter target non-creature spell unless it's control phase 2, interaction for like enchantments, planeswalkers, removal, all that kind of stuff. 2 damage target creature for creature interaction, and then also like, hey, you can just draw 2, discard 2, dump the Phoenix in your graveyard, or get you closer to casting Treasure Cruise. You then dig for more stuff. It slices, it dices. 2 copies here just rounds everything out. Deck's super, super solid. Very, very like 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 2, but it does everything. yeah, feel pretty good about the list. The mana base, 2 copies of Hall of Storm Giants. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of cards. We're going to get enough lands into play to be starting to activate these, and then, hey, it's another big threat your opponent has to deal with. Then you have 2 copies of Basic Island. Good to be able to find and get good around. 1 Otter Warrior, it's just the best utility land. 4 copies of Pathway, 4 copies of Spybar Canal, 4 Steam Lands, and then 1 Stormcloud Coast. You really can't afford any tap lands, and so just one of these tap lands early will be death of you. So that's the 60. I'm going to play some best of 3 ranked, so I also have a sideboard here. The most important thing probably is Crackling Drake. Versus Control or decks with tons and tons of removal, sometimes you really struggle to win the game with Shredder or Phoenix. Phoenix, sometimes you don't find it till late, or sometimes they have ways to exile it, like the End, which become more popular in like black-based decks. And so, hey, more threats is better. Crackling Drake, power type is equal to the number of instant sorceries you own in exile and in your graveyard, so even if you delved a bunch of the Holy Treasure Cruise, they still count. It replaces itself when it enters the battlefield, draw a card, and then it's just a massive threat in air. Following that, we have some interaction. For blue decks, 2 copies of Mystical Dispute. For other combo stuff or control stuff, we've got a couple of copies of Spell Pierce. And for ramp stuff, we also have a Disdainful Stroke here at the top. 3 copies of Brotherhood's End versus aggro, 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. If you come up against something with loads of artifacts as well, hey, you can sweep up 2. 2 Brazen Borrowers is a bit of a catch-all, kind of just like interaction for online permanents. And then 1 Narset's Reversal, which is really, really good versus the 6 mana black spell that like exiles all the sorceries from your hand and graveyard. Hey, this says I'll copy it and then return it to your hand, and then my copy will exile your copy. Pretty awesome. That's the coolest interaction, but it can do some other stuff as well. And so, hey, is a sweet one. So with that, let's hop into some ranked games. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Much more stuff to come. I've started with Red Blue Phoenix. We'll be doing Grixis over the next week at some point, so stay on the lookout for that. Let's hop into some ranked games. Alright, first match here. We will choose to play, of course. No Phoenix here. We do have a Shredder and we have a Cruise we can start building towards. We'll go ahead and keep this. See what our opponent's on. Look at how we want to kind of craft our hand a bit. Didn't run either. I think with the Cruise, I might as well look to be considering this time. So go ahead and run it out. We want a double spell on turn 3, but at that point we want to be building a bit more. Can I go ahead and fire this off? We've got 3 lands. I think we're happy to bin that. Draw some more. Play this on red. Temple Garden tapped. Could be a Malia combo, could be something like Angels. I'm just going to make the Shredder anyway. Expecting this to live, given this start. Yeah, this is definitely one where we look to be wanting to loot away some of these lands with the Shredder. We could fire off trees, maybe find some Phoenixes and stuff to get going with. Human athlete. Okay. Given that, I want a Shredder. I will sleight of hand and trigger both of these. Alright, I think I want the Prankster. Let's discard units for now, and we'll discard a Phoenix as well. Okay. Yeah, with Prankster, let's sleight of hand, get spells. 4. If we find a 1-mana spell for Prankster, we can bring Phoenix back next turn as well. Looks to be okay. We're at 4 cards in the graveyard for trees. So fourth. You look to like Bay, quite a hand Cruise here. Be in a pretty good spot. Ooh. Do not want to block these. Go to 14. Pretty sweet human deck. I don't know if I want to play this untapped, the thing. I think the best thing for us to do is to start off with the Free to Pay. Okay, we hit a Phoenix there. Oh, and we hit a Lightning Axe, that's big. Okay. I'll play this. We'll check cards in graveyard, so 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. go ahead and I'm gonna opt. I'm gonna trigger off the light shredders here as well. I'm looking to see if I can find a Phoenix to be able to run through. The one thing with this is I want to actually power these up. So let's make this one a couple. I don't think I want. And on the bottom. Oh, yeah. Phoenix. Ooh, I still think we want to cast the got the land. And kill the Mantis Rider, get this thing done. I'm going to show the Mantis Rider a little bit of love, but then we get a couple of Phoenixes back into the red zone. Yeah. We should have them dead. I'm actually going to test off my upkeep all the other worldly games just to control our stuff, but yeah. Alright, game 2. Definitely one of these Brotherhood's ends. That's probably about it. If you have anything to board out, we can maybe bring in like a Borrower's kind of interaction. The kind of like multicolor humans deck does play more expensive cards, so like bounce effects aren't as bad as they could be. But one of the things with our build is that we're actually fairly okay versus them game 1, because we're not relying on like Spell Pierce and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna leave these out and then see what we want to bring out for the Brotherhood's Ends. All these results are pretty good. As far as our more dirtly stuff, like Prankster is really important for enabling the deck, but sometimes we don't have time. And then as far as cantrips go, Sleight of Hand is probably the worst of these, just because of the value we get from other games, especially we can use to kind of dig for Brotherhood's End while doing all the other stuff early. I think I probably will just minus the. I'm just going to 3 of these. Hey, Prankster could block. Like it could do that. So back up with this. Yeah, we'll see how long this plays out. We get a couple of matches in at least, maybe even 3 if we've got. Oh, too fast. Humans will be fast one way or the other. If he runs a control deck, he might be here a little while. But hey, would like to hit a couple of different matchups to showcase the deck a bit. One lander is super sketchy. We have a Brotherhood's End, but we. This stuff. We're on the draw. We have a lot of stuff going on. We need to like find a red source. We have a draw step, another one of the gaze, and a draw step. I think I keep this. We have a lot of velocity here. We could really get punished if they've got a fast start, but I think we've got enough kind of mulligan as well. There's enough equity here for us to. Oh, it's just stop on my draw step. Yeah, main. We will just leave this battle canal then. That is fine. I will see what they do here. Nothing's tough. I'm gonna gaze. This will provide us a lot of content. So we have Shredder. We currently don't really have a way to like discard draw with this, so maybe we want to Shredder here. Also, the fight like these cards are all pretty good, but we kind of do want to find a land after this. But we can be looking to go Shredder into cantrip, discard, like cantrip. Yeah, okay. Happy enough with this. Let's run it down mid. Yeah, Cavernous Souls Forest is one downside, or like, hey, you don't necessarily get if you've got like a bunch of multicolored 2-drops. The real payoff of these kind of decks are the 3s. The unfortunate drawing time. I'm just gonna sit here behind this. See what I do. It will just impulse it maybe, but depends a little. Human. Oh, this exiles cards and graveyards as well. That's miserable. Oh, this is all pretty bad. This is a 3/3. I think we can play around this though. Pretty tough. That's gonna come down to Exile Phoenix. The concern. I just have to deal with that. Whatever a human enters the battlefield. Yeah. Okay, cruise isn't necessarily what we wanted. We go ahead and cast this. This is pretty risky. I'm gonna leave this consider on top though. We can win the game with Ledger Shredder though, is the thing. This is basically banking on this consider hitting a land. Okay, it didn't hit a land, but we'll have a removal spell for the general. I feel okay about it. Even if we lose another Phoenix. Like, it feels bad. It was playing like to our highest upside. A little tough. Oh, that's bad. Yeah. Reflector Mage will pick up the Ledger Shredder and exile this. Have removal for this. A land or... We're on 17. I'm gonna double spell. I'm basically thinking, do I want to like, is it charm to make sure we hit a land? We can't play Ledger Shredder this turn. Means we're taking 4 extra damage over just like killing this, but we may not even get into a good position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm trying to stabilize. We can still, if we hit a land, we can also just cast the Fire Impulse. We did hit a land. I'm gonna win one of the Treasure Cruises and one of the Brotherhood's Ends. A pass like this does leave up. Pay me maybe does leave up company potentially, but respond to this and kill this guy. We have Cruise online as well now. Move removal. We can maybe play in a way to nullify them a bit. Kind of get value out of this. I kind of want to go like Shredder. I don't know how much you want to commit to Fire Impulse versus Brotherhood's End. I would quite like to get value out of the Brotherhood's End. Means growing these a little bit. Which other one? Surely they wouldn't expect a third. We'll see. Alright, main phase Coco. They can hit. So they're playing Reflector Mage. The General Drown is one of the good things to play off of this. Reflector Mage, I think, is a little replaceable. But one of the things I always keep an eye on with these decks, when you try and build them, you're like, okay, how many multicolored payoffs actually are there? Oh, they did hit another copy of the General, which is tough. And Brutal Cathar will eat this. But we have the answer to all of these. We just don't get a good block here. So we can go... Oh, it depends what we draw though. I'm gonna take this. Okay, that's fine. If I now go... I can just go consider Brotherhood then, can't I? Be in a safer position. I actually do want to draw this because we're going to be able to cruise in a second. Realistically, it should still be one of these. Alright. Cool. It's a bit awkward, but we got through this. I like to take time to think out my lines when I'm playing Phoenix, because like every spell matters so much. Especially versus an aggro matchup here. If we take any additional damage, it's like, oh, that's a nightmare. Like here, I'm not going to block because we've got the Firing Impulse, but okay, potentially get in trouble. Like, I should cast this first. Let's have a look. So, Del spells in the graveyard. No, other than like we want to leave like a number as the sorceries, we're not really getting anything back here. Doesn't really matter. So the principle would be exile like creatures, lands first, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this Picklock Prankster. Of this. Keep that. I'm actually going to discard this because I want, well, cheaper things to look for interaction. And while we have larger shredders, the 2 cheap spells are good. I'll take the one that card up, and otherwise it goes for graveyard's pretty great. Go ahead and kill this. I'm leaving open the possibility of Mantis Rider. I think that's okay. If they go Coco double Mantis Rider, then I think we call that a variance. But I don't like it enough to like play an untapped Steam Vents here. Hold up Izzet. Which could be the correct play, to be honest. But it's tough. I don't think that's the only thing with it. And like Mantis Rider is the ultimate punish for that as well, because then we're at 1. I wonder if we'll ever get like Kessig Malcontents into Pioneer. I have no Phoenix. No. Should put a stop on my upkeep. Bin. I kind of want to look for a removal spell still for this. Go ahead and draw, go to main phase. Okay, cast once at the sorcery. Go ahead and consider. Don't think. Just thinking like, do we hit another removal spell here? Do we want to play this? We can also try and high roll a little bit. I kind of like the idea of leaving these at Charm up like we were thinking about last time. Here we attack for 6, so we're presenting lethal damage. With sort of the Izzet Charm acting as like another threat that we can play. Yeah, they can't answer it. Alright, well, there we go. First match. I'll see you in the next one. Alright, second match of Phoenix. See how long this one goes. Might be the last one. If it's fast, we'll play one more. I'm on the draw. Big sad. But, yeah. You'll see. I'm hoping to do something with Timeless this week. I was away actually when Khans came out, and so I'm doing a bit of catching up. But going through looking to build Timeless decks, there are so many, like, all the best cards are like rares from spin-off sets and like straight like Save and Archives. Like, oh yeah, I just don't have any of these. So I'm debating crafting a bunch of stuff, but also like a lot of wildcards. We'll see. There's something I definitely have a bunch of parts for, but also like, given like every deck's gonna be playing a bunch of fetches as well, it's like, okay. We'll see. I'm gonna save both these cantrips for now. I got Shredder into Phoenix, and just want to hold the cantrips, especially with double Shredder, to be able to like activate things a bunch. This is kind of interesting. Teamur lands? What I said. I'm just gonna make a Shredder here. My best guess is that they're on some kind of combo shenanigans, in which case we don't actually have loads of great ways to interact. We have like Izzet Charms in the main deck, but we'll be relying a bit on our sideboard. I guess off of this start that they're maybe playing some kind of like Teamur Transmogrify deck. Okay, this is sweet. Sure, never mind. Teamur Adventure, or potentially even Full Color Adventure. Okay. Even got the N in here too, but yeah, things are. All on the oh, the exiles too. Hall's awkward. I kind of just want to go like Ledger Shredder into a cantrip. We also have Lightning Axe, which will be able to interact with some kind of creature. You know what the best way to do this is? I think we want to refine our hand a little bit. And they've not actually played anything yet. But, you select a hand first because that one's a sorcery. Get this in, and then select a hand. We have a ball, so take the extra untap land. Okay. So, Query on Dryad is one of my favorite cards in Magic, so I love this card. I'm gonna make this a decent more. Okay. Like ETB Return Adventure. Oh, I see. You can pull back the Question Druid. Or more. Oh. Exile player's graveyard. Put target create card you don't own in exile. It has an adventure at the bottom of his library. Okay. Yeah, that's very mean. To find some own stuff to do. We have Lightning Axe. I'm gonna fire off this opt. Let's see if we can. Probably consider first. This is before we use the opts. Don't want the one. Do you want cards in my graveyard? Firing impulse whole turn. I guess it's a one time now in case I find Phoenix. So here, double fire impulse. The creatures we've seen are pretty small. So I kind of want to just be like, alright, sure, we'll just hold on to some of these. I don't love this guy on the land, but oh. Are they on like Spell Pierce? I can go in the bin. This is kind of what we were looking for. Alright, sure. I've got a card. I'll get this. I think realistically I want to discard the Storm and that's what holds something up. I don't know what this card is. I have to imagine it's a spell piece, but wait to actually do that for sure. A bolt. We have one Phoenix Exile. We have an opt in hand. Also, it's also not great against like. It's decent versus like Questing Druid, but some of the larger explore creatures, sorry, adventure creatures, we've got no chance of killing with these. So I don't find it too bad. It does feel awful, but fine. This deck is sweet though. They have a ton of exile removal. Makes me very sad. Could it be tough? Sure, so here's a Questing Druid. And if they cast a non-green spell, basically. Oh, I know, a coloured spell that's not green. White, blue, black, or red. Get to count. And like borrow the. Okay. Freezes in it. What is that? Draw. This is tough because this grows, of course. I almost want to cast this first. No, actually, I want Treasure Cruise to be the first spell, don't I? Because then I have more stuff to, more options for Ledger Shredder. Plans with spell. The question of spell mastery. But with the Treasure Cruise in the graveyard, we'll have. Okay. Play this out. Is it Charm? Okay, that lets us just kill everything, I think. Pretty happy with this solution. I don't want to get got. So is this tapping out? And again, like, is it Charm being like a way to like spell pierce like something is hey. They're like the big adventure thing. Though to be fair, they need to end, they'll die. But being able to catch a removal spell or something was pretty valuable. From our side, we're pretty much set up to go free the pay into Treasure Cruise. Or probably the way around again. Feel quite fortunate to have gotten. Well, we'll see. Game's looking pretty good for us. But I like the Exile removal and the Sentinels, the last one. We played through a decent amount of paint here. They end up doing. Okay, they have an altar. I could 7-bin all of those. Okay. Normal. Double altar. Um. discard another one of these. Yeah, okay. They've seen it enough. That's fair. So game 2. So something like it's like a largely creature doesn't have too many spells. We didn't actually see much blue stuff, so I'm like in spite of them playing team of cards like with like blue, I don't want to bring any. I do want the Cracking Drakes. They've got a bunch of different effects that kind of mess with or exile our creatures' graveyard. I expect more of that stuff to come in as well, so kind of have to bring those in. I'm kind of committed. Versus loads of graveyard hit, you could consider Encourage Crews. We've got so many ways to fill our graveyard. Feel okay about that. I don't love the Izzet charms, they're a bit inefficient and we're not really like carrying the stuff that they're doing. Maybe want a Brotherhood's End, but I don't know for sure. Like giants, otters. Creatures are fairly small. I'm basically thinking about is like, okay, am I cutting like some sleight of hands? Do we think the Ledger Shredders are worse here? Wouldn't mind doing something like this. No, I don't want to bring in 2 copies. I'll bring in 1 Brotherhood's End. We can kind of dig through it a little. See how this goes. See how this goes. Although the gaze fixes a lot, we're on the draw as well. I'm gonna keep this, even though we don't necessarily have a way to get the Phoenix to the graveyard at the moment. The whole Spire Buff now draws. You can go Ori, shall we say? Appreciate these are temples. That's one thing I think that I'm happy the Discover deck's done is like highlight that hey, you can play temples and they can be good. Like if you're not doing anything early, then like, and you're looking to like you're digging for specific cards, then temples are wrong. Clover. Okay. This can resolve. I wouldn't mind a lightning axe. The picklock is like the best way for us to like actually get things going. I think I want to do something like that. I don't even know if I want the yeah, okay. I'm playing to maximize the graveyard a little bit. My plan here is to just free the Fae. So, I mean, having access to like 1 more card in the graveyard versus having the lightning axe like to hand for the Phoenix. But they're also like with the Clover in play going to be adventuring for a few turns. We're not going to get to cast this probably for a little bit. Or I'm about to eat my words. Oh, I'm gonna pay the price here for that. Cruise and okay. Do I have a player or an opponent? A pass. Look to basically like impulse here, otherworldly gaze. The stuff, fill our graveyard, untap and cruise. Red on the They do have a lot of tap lands though. Try and remove. We'll take another damage off of it. Flashback one of these. I don't want to hang on to Tire Impulse, but I don't know if this is what we want, right? 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. I'm gonna hold on to one of them. Exiling the other one of the gaze is the only thing. Okay. Let's shift this. They're kind of playing waiting for us to do stuff. I'm just gonna like fire off some gazes at the end of that turn. We're not up to a whole lot at the moment. And we don't want to dump a bunch of stuff to our graveyard for them to then just be able to untap and exile. I've played quite a lot of actually like different versions of Adventure decks, but I've not played straight Teamur. Actually, is that true? I think I have actually. I've played a bunch of 4-color as well. With like Omnath and stuff too. And Khan before it got banned. I don't even know, are they playing the Luna maybe? The big like adventure payoff. Okay, that's another way to go. You should go in the bed. I'll keep Falcon Drake on top. I'll just work around that for now. It does get obliterating bolted, but we can't really do much about that. There's Lightning Axe. I'm gonna shock myself for this. Given that we choose the Lightning Axe. What are they tanking? This is a bit of a weird one. I should let this happen. The weird thing with this interaction in particular is that when Brazen Borrow bounces a creature, if you cop it with a Lucky Crow, if you've not got another target, it'll bounce, the first one will fizzle. It's unfortunate for them. No, yeah, it'll fizzle the one that's actually got the creature attached. Oh, trees. Okay, this time we go a bit wider. We'll leave Ledger Shredder, then I'll go Crackling Drake, and this will discard the Phoenix. My plan. Giving them multiple ways to have to like deal with things. Yeah, I played a lot already. So like, this is a game where the whole Storm Giant's probably going to get busy. To the point where they have to deal with 2 things in play, plus my graveyard. And then if they don't find a way to exile this, they can just go in on bringing MTG Phoenix's back next turn. And if they don't answer the Kraken, they're dead very quickly. This probably will be the last match. Attacking. I know they're like Bonecrusher Giant, they can double Bonecrusher Giant this, but they're like in a rough spot versus Phoenix. I think if they had a Bonecrusher Giant, they'd just done it. Okay. End step. In back. Holding away. This is a bounce out on it, but you run into the same problem because you've not got another online permanent. Yeah. Boy, what? I'm gonna put this out. I'm gonna flash back out of all the games. I'm looking to bring back some Phoenix. Ooh, maybe they have an instant speed effect text on my graveyard. There's nothing here. I don't have that many cards in my library. There's one thing. Okay. The odds aren't that bad. I just like worry like, oh, I've only got so many cards. Don't go overboard here. Ooh, Hornlock Whale. Oh, this is... I should just let this resolve. The thing is, if I like kill this response, I don't know. They don't get the creature either way. Like I have to target this way. I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'm sure. Remember a little bit that your library is a resource and that there's only a certain amount. Okay, well, there's a problem, but not an unbeatable problem. There's so many lands here. How many cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Enough cards. Like, how much do I care about Phoenixes now? Okay, let's cast one of these. Yeah, we draw. I'm just gonna... I'm just gonna go... This has to die. Don't wipe. Don't wipe. Never wipe. Something bad will happen. Okay, they're just hiding. It's fine. Let's kill this. With about 10 cards left. Including 2 Phoenixes. Yeah. Just Drake instead. Sure. At the point where Crackling Drake is just lethal, we need to draw an answer, and we have a couple to work with. There's an interesting discussion about how Leo works with adventure cards. Or it didn't stem from that, but it was about Ren, and it... Oh yeah, we gave them extra crease. They're at 20. You just double Drake here. I can draw step broadcast, I think. There's a Phoenix. You have 1 Phoenix in your... Yes. I don't really want to mill myself anymore. Okay. I opted over bringing this Phoenix back rather than playing another Crackling Drake. Better or worse. But this leaves us open to the workforce of just casting some hasty Phoenix. They can't just keep... They don't have an answer for the Crackling Drake, which is the lethal threat. Alright, well, that was longer than it should have been, maybe. And partly that's my fault, but hey, I'll see you in the post-match. Hey, if you made it this far, thank you for sticking up with that. I'm really sorry, I just went back to listen to the audios. Really, really bad. Hopefully it's fixed up now, but the deck itself, pretty great, pretty great. Phoenix may be the best deck on Arena now in the Explorer format, or Pioneer when we finally get there. And there's ways that people can like play against it, but like with things like Crackling Drake in the sideboard, like it's a really, really good threat. There are a bunch of alternate things you could do. I was thinking about putting some like young Pyromancer style of effects in here, in the sideboard to board into. There's some cool options, but the shell itself is just incredibly strong anyway. I'm still a fairly big fan of Thing in the Ice. I think you can play that. There's lots of room for like customizations, whether you want to play a bit more interaction for like combo stuff or like spell pierces and that kind of thing in the main deck, or whether you want slightly different removal. You even go back to like Charter Course, be a bit better at putting things in the graveyard, not lean as much on just Shredder. The one thing we're also missing Temporal Trespass, because unfortunately Fate Reforged isn't on Arena yet, which is a bit of a shame. Hopefully we'll get that at some point, but like that with Galvanic Iteration, that's like the only thing really missing from the Phoenix deck now. Not all versions play that, to be fair, but it is one thing that like some versions of that do that isn't available at the moment on MTG Arena. With that being said, deck is incredible. It's going to be pretty defining, I think. It's going to be playing ladder so far, and yeah, as far as the things go, what we played against the human deck, me and some like got into a couple of rough spots there. There's some good cards against this, and versus Teamur. And the second match versus Teamur, the one with the bad audio, doesn't look super close, but the first match made it look really rough. That's maybe because they hit a bunch of cards that like, interact really well with Phoenix and stuff. But like, hey, people are experimenting online, and like this is a great time. Like with Khans, there's a bunch of new things to try out. I certainly have a bunch of decks in the pipeline that I'm really excited about. And Dig Through Time and Treasure Cruise, like along as well as Phoenix, also like allows a bunch of other stuff in the format, and there's some other cards from Khans I'm also really excited to play with too. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, sorry about the audio for the second half there. Please do like, subscribe, all that good stuff, share it around. I really appreciate it. And peace out. Have a great day. Bye.